Okay, this is probably the robot vacuum you guys been waiting for. This is the Roborock S8 Pro Ultra. Let's see what this little guy is all about. I took about the last hour or so bringing this bad boy down in my basement so I can film the first unboxing and initial first impressions of the new Roborock S8 Pro Ultra. Okay, so let's talk about Roborock's reactive 3D technology. It's kind of interesting how they're able to combine 3D, structured light, and infrared imaging technology to allow the robot vacuum to see certain types of objects up to, I believe, 42 different types of objects in different light scenarios. So, if you have a brightly lit sunroom or a dark closet you're trying to clean, this robot vacuum should be able to recognize these objects. Okay, so I'm not sure how I'm going to convince my daughter to pick up after herself. She seems like everywhere she goes, her stuffed animals, her toys are everywhere. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to deal with it as a parent. Alright, so luckily the S8 Pro has no problems go around these stuffed animals, not trying to suck them up, because I would have one sad child. So when I evaluate a robot vacuum, this is just the initial testing. I try to see how well they navigate. I think this is pretty important, especially if you're using these robot vacuums day to day and your environment's constantly changing with different objects. It's important for these robot vacuums to be able to update their map, be able to navigate objects without getting stuck. So this demonstrates how well the robot can evaluate these objects and effectively go back to an area, maybe its charger, or to a new cleaning area without getting lost. Yes. Thank you so much, Roborock, for sending me out this robot vacuum. What is new? Well, for starters, you notice this little front panel there. Yep, they added this to kind of give it more of a clean look. Now, the docking station does have a hot air drying feature. So, this dock does everything. Washes the mopping pads, empties out the dust from the robot into a bag. Also, there's a freshwater, dirty water tank. So, that's how it can wash the mopping pad. Alright, let's go and spin this giant box around. Now, if you're a small person like me, I think I'm 5'4" on a good day, maybe 5'3" on a bad day. I would recommend getting 2 people to lift this box. It's pretty big and awkward with my small T-Rex arms. Alright, so let's go and talk about what this thing has. Has 3D optical avoidance, has a dual roller riser brush, so I suspect it could rise up a little bit, especially if you're mopping. You don't want that wet debris on your brush rollers. Now you have twice the vibrating mopping modules, so it's the same mopping pad, but it has 2 vibrating mopping modules instead of 1 from the previous generation. You have automatic mop and washing, you have automatic dust emptying, which is into a dust bag, and you have the hot air drying feature. Okay, so here's some more information about it. From the previous generation, like the S6, S7, the front-facing camera worked pretty well, avoiding most obstacles like shoes, shoestrings, power cables, small children, pets, and even lazy humans that just don't want to get out of the way. Talking about this guy, let's get this guy opened up. We're going to see how it runs. This is my first impressions. I think there's a lot to cover, so stick around. Grab some popcorn, grab your favorite child, grab your favorite pet, friend, and this will be kind of a long video, but there's a lot to cover with this new robot vacuum. You did not see that, my robot vacuum. Okay, let's see. I'm an expert, so don't worry about that thing. Information there for the app. You can just scan the QR code right there. Cool. I think I'm pretty safe. You know, I just broke my back carrying this box down the stairs, but you know what? I'm safe. It's empty. Check it out, guys. There's nothing in there. I wouldn't throw a real robot vacuum down the stairs. No robot vacuums were harmed in the making of this video. There are a million instruction booklets that this thing comes. The information is right there. Get out. Everything, nice protecting. It's like Christmas all over. I love unwrapping stuff too. Let's go ahead and snap that guy in there. He just snaps in. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so before we start actually vacuuming, you probably want to do a quick vac option, which I'll show you right here. I'll go and click on that. And it'll kind of walk you through. Make sure you clear all the rooms. Make sure you open up all the doors, etc., etc.
Starting mapping.
Okay, so you may notice a lot of junk on the ground. I kind of purposely did not clean up this area just to see how you can benefit from the smart mapping option. The benefit is mainly the robot vacuum rarely gets stuck just because it just kind of goes around each room, doesn't actually do cleaning. But you do have the option to clean and map simultaneously, and in that scenario, I would recommend picking up the area so it doesn't get hung up on things. But you can see how the robot vacuum was able to go into each room, kind of scan around, and then continue on. Okay, so the biggest upgrade for this new model is the VibraRise 2.0 technology. So it can still lift up about 5 millimeters to cover medium to low profile carpets. Also, this new system has dual vibrating mopping modules. So in essence, it's able to cover twice the area or be able to vibrate more area of the mopping pad. Now, I have tested the previous generation, the Roborock S7 MaxV Ultra, and I felt like the mopping system was probably one of the best hybrid mopping slash vacuuming robots out there, and the S8 Pro does not disappoint. It actually did slightly better, was able to get most of the coffee stains in one pass. Let's take a look at the mopping options. Now, if I go into the dock, new for the new dock is the fact that it can dry the mopping pad. In the settings, you have the option to go to 2 hours, 3 hours, or up to 4 hours. I do recommend the longer times so it could thoroughly dry the mopping pad. Of course, if you feel like the mopping pad's a little dirty, you can tell it to wash right away. Now, if I go into the vacuum settings, here I can actually do a couple things. I could customize each vacuum and mopping levels per room, or if I go into vacuuming, you can see I have different routes. Now, what's interesting is in the mop option, I actually have 4 different route options. I have standard, I have fast, which I really don't recommend when you're mopping. I like the deep and deep plus. So this allows it to clean a little better. Also, I recommend keeping on intense so it has the maximum scrubbing power. Of course, you have vacuum and mop option, and one thing to note is this robot vacuum does have a carpet sensor, so when it detects medium to low profile carpet, it will lift up that mopping pad up to 5 millimeters to clear the carpet.
Starting to wash the mop.
You guys can see it. Wow, this is pretty cool. So this thing inside is actually the brush roller as it moves back and forth. This is how it cleans the mopping pad. One thing I noticed is the bristles are actually a little bit softer this time around. I think last year model had a little bit stiffer bristles to clean the mopping pad, so that's cool. These are your charging contacts right there. You can see the little silver things popping out. And this is your auto refill port right there, so very interesting design. So how this works is the robot actually sits like this. To auto wash, that's how it washes, and then when it needs to empty and charge up, it will actually sit like this. So it does like a 180, so pretty cool design. Just take this whole plate off to wash, like let's say you have some residue, just take this, wash it up and put it in. You don't have to remove the entire plate in the docking station. You notice the little chute right there? That's where the dirt empties out. This is in a hole right there. Let's get to the good stuff. So here's the dual brush rollers. Looks like they're a little bit different. They kind of intertwine with each other. You notice that? Look at that. That's kind of cool. If the ends get removed, that's one thing I like to test. Yep, you can pull the ends. A little bit different design, so very interesting how that works. Let's try this end. Yeah, see that? So instead of having like these little components, this entire like module comes apart. Just snap right in. There we go. Alright, so let's notice one interesting thing is this thing actually goes up and down. Notice that? You can see that? Pretty cool. It looks like we got a front wheel caster. We have an ultrasonic sensor for the carpet. So how this works is once it detects carpet, when it's mopping, it'll actually lift up this mopping pad up to 5 millimeters. You also have some infrared sensors for cliffs. So yes, this thing won't take a nice trip down your stairs and play hide and seek on you. And this is the usual 3-arm side brush, and it does have bristles instead of silicone. So it's interesting that Roborock went back with the bristle design. And the VibraRise 2.0 technology right here. Let's look at the mopping system. See if I can take this off. Alright, notice now it has dual vibrating mopping modules. So this should help give better coverage when trying to remove stubborn dirt and grime. So pretty cool. Up in the middle, you got your return to home, and you got your spot clean right there. Now here's your LiDAR sensor right there, and it is clickable, so low hanging furniture, maybe apples, don't hit this thing. So be careful, this thing will not bump into it. So you guys can see everything. Pretty cool. Definitely feels like a pretty high-end looking robot. The Dustbin looks very similar to last year's model. You can check out the filter. So this filter is washable, and then you can just take another vacuum and suck out all the debris. But keep in mind, you don't really need to do that since it does have self-emptying. And just from last year's models and other models I've tested, Roborock does have a pretty powerful self-emptying system.
Dustbin removed. Emptying dustbin. Dustbin removed. Dustbin installed.
Alright, so here's our dust bag. Pretty nice. Looks pretty big. Probably get about maybe 3 months worth of dirt, depending how often you use this guy. Okay, so we got a dirty water tank, which is 2.9 liters. We have a fresh water tank, which is 3.5 liters. And finally, we remove that far right panel. We have our dust bag, which is 2.5 liters. Now, all three can be removed for easy cleaning. And for the disposable bag, just toss it when you're done. I don't recommend trying to reuse it because they do degrade over time. And the debris may get down into that vacuum motor. The last thing we can look at is the application. Now, granted, the app is still kind of new. This is the newest model, so there might be some bugs with the performance, and I am waiting for some updates before I give an actual review of this. But overall, just out of the gate, Roborock did a pretty good job. And if you find these initial videos unboxings helpful, let me know down in the comments. Give it a like and subscribe to this video because it really will help out rank this video so I can continue working with companies and provide you with these newest robot vacuum models. Alright, so overall, the application really hasn't changed from last year's model or from any other robot vacuum from Roborock, but you do have a lot of features you can do. Now, if you do have one that has self-cleaning, like the S7 MaxV Ultra, you should be very familiar. But like I said, the newest feature is that drying option. Now, I do like the application. It's been pretty responsive, and since this does have the reactive 3D technology, you can recognize certain objects like poo, shoestrings. You also can recognize pedals, which is quite nice. Now, one interesting thing is you do have the option to do 3D rooms. Not sure how useful it is. I personally don't use it, but it's just kind of a cool little party trick. Maybe showcase your friends. You can rotate it, you can zoom in, and you can see where the robot sits. Cool, but I prefer just a color-coded map. You can also add furniture, so if you really want to go into detail, you can add a couch, you can add a bed, a dresser, etc., etc. Now, one interesting thing is Roborock does offer a lot of settings, so it may take a couple days to get familiar with, but over the years, Roborock really has made the map management super easy. You can just add a new map, you can either do a quick map option, or you can just do a clean map, which is really great. I've had issues with mapping before, but now Roborock kind of perfected it, so it shouldn't be any issues. You can do scheduling. A lot of these robot vacuums have this ability. You can customize each room to a specific vacuum level or mopping level, or you can do both simultaneously. So this is really good if you just want more of a hands-off experience. I do recommend maintaining the robot every week. Just kind of wipe it down, the sensors, check on the dust bag, make sure it's not overflowing. And also you may want to check the mopping pad just to make sure it's not degrading or it needs thorough cleaning. Alright, so in carpet settings, this is interesting. You actually have a couple settings. Dynamic lift allows the robot vacuum to lift up its mopping pad about 5 millimeters so it can avoid the carpet. Now you can also ignore it so it will keep the mopping pad down. So if you're trying to mop like rubber mats and stuff. I do appreciate the carpet boost, and you do have deep carpet cleaning, which will kind of do more of a thorough systematic cleaning job. Okay, so you do have dock settings. Like I said, there's a couple things you can do. Mop frequency, basically, I like to have it at the minimum so it keeps going back and washes the mopping pad, and it ensures that the water tank is filled up. Now, washing mode, I prefer a deep just because I like to make sure that it does a good job mopping. Also, one interesting thing is in auto emptying, you can have it do auto, which it goes back each time it cleans to empty, or you can just do it manually. Auto drying, you have 3 options, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I prefer the 4 hours so it does a more thorough drying. Alright, so a lot of these features I have showcased on this channel, like pin to go. So for example, you want the robot vacuum to go to a specific target point, you can do that. I find that useful if you need to empty out the robot's dustbin by hand. You can tell it to go directly to the trash can, and it'll just sit there until you empty it out. Okay, so you have a remote control option. Kind of, again, it's nice to just steer the robot. Maybe this is good for someone that can't really bend down. They need to just kind of have the robot go to a specific location. I do like the joystick mode. I find it a little bit easier to control the robot. Alright, so of course you have cleaning history. You can basically see where the robot cleaned. Also, if there's any issues, it will let you know. Basically, cleaning was interrupted by the user. Let's try a different one here. Again, it was interrupted. But if there's like a tangle in the brush, the app will let you know. You got firmware updates. One thing to note is I like to have an auto update so you don't have to worry about missing an update. Okay, so again, hope you liked this video. If you have any questions about the new S8 Pro Ultra, let me know down in the comments. And stick around, I got some new robots from different manufacturers. And of course, I'll evaluate the S8 Pro. And in about 3 months' time, I'll give a more of a in-depth review video and let you know when this model is coming out to the public. Alright, thanks again, and I appreciate you guys watching. Be safe out there. Adios. This is Nathan. I am out.